Hi, this is Randy Rolfe, and I'm an independent consultant with Nikken, and this is our half-hour presentation to a better way to create a life of balance and abundance with Nikken. And it's not a corporate presentation, it's done by us independent consultants to give you an overview and an introduction and tell some of our stories. So I'm going to start with a PowerPoint and then invite some testimonials. So let me share my screen. Nikken is a better way to a life in balance, we believe, as consultants. And I love this little three symbol thing you'll see on the PowerPoint: people, planet, and profit. And that's a nice combination, and Nikken really addresses all of those. Let me see if I can, here we go. Get rid of our panel that's going to obscure the pictures. And Nikken's all about the compounding effect of small decisions we make every day. And our small choices consistently over time make a radical difference. And I started out as an attorney, and I left the practice of law after a couple of years because I wanted to start a family, and I wanted to be available as a mom and a wife, and the big firm practice just didn't lend me the time and freedom to do that. So I started teaching nutrition. I was certified and became a family counselor and had a practice out of my home where I controlled my time and how I spent it. And what I found counseling families was that the biggest problems were because of the small lifestyle choices people were making. And this is a diagram of one story, 27 months, where a gentleman was able to turn his life around from a life of stress and not achieving his potential to really having a life in real balance. And it's not about big decisions we make, oh, we'll start such and such in the new year. It's the daily decisions about our health and our sleep and our relationships and our time. And they compound to affect our income, our health, our relationships, our happiness, and our success. And Nikken is all about creating the right environment so that things are in balance. So Nikken is a choice. And it's about active wellness and collaborative entrepreneurship. I'm going to talk about the collaborative entrepreneurship first, and then we'll share more about the active wellness part, which is why the entrepreneurship project works so well. Nikken is based on the philosophy of the 5 pillars of health. And I was so excited to see that because as a corporate lawyer, I knew that a lot of people's lives were out of balance, and the multinational corporations in general weren't really interested in people leading a balanced life. They were really based only on profit. And Nikken's philosophy is permeates everything they do. It's about healthy body, healthy mind, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances. And being able to have all of those, where I thought I'd given up being wealthy when I started working from home, selling my time for money. There's only so many hours in the day. And I was focusing on health of body and mind and time with family, but I wasn't going to have balance. And if any of these starts to suffer, all of the others will suffer. If your health, of course, is challenged, then everything suffers. If your finances get tight, it affects everything. Stress and the time with the family, and being able to contribute to society, either time or money or mental attitude, can really suffer with any of the others that are suffering. If you're not having time with your family, you don't feel fulfilled even if you love your work. So balance is really, really important, and very few corporations have that kind of philosophy at their core. So where is the biggest challenge in today's life? It really is about stress, financial stress, health stress, time stress. money stress, it goes on and on, family responsibilities, sandwich generation, and so on. The biggest one that people are most conscious of is the finances. And this is a diagram of the cash flow quadrants developed by Robert Kiyosaki, that these are the 4 ways that we earn a living, either as an employee, self-employed with our own business, as a business owner where we leverage the time of others, or as an investor. And what Mr. Kiyosaki says is if you want true wealth and freedom, you need to get from the left side, where you're an employee or self-employed, to the right side, where you're a business owner or investor. The challenge is that if you're employee or self-employed, it's very hard to get the money you need to be able to become a business owner with employees and a shop and that kind of thing. Or an investor, you need even more money. And employees and self-employed, there's only so many hours in the day, and you don't have that power of leverage. When you own a business like a McDonald's franchise, you're leveraging the efforts and time of others, and you can take a piece of that as your profit. But to get a traditional franchise of any kind is millions of dollars. And to become an investor, it takes over $2 million just to have $50,000 a year coming in at 5%. So to get from the left side to the right side of these quadrants takes a whole lot of money traditionally. Now, what we're finding today is that in the gig economy, people are adding to their financial power by independent workers on demand availability for temporary or part-time assignments. And the young people, the millennials, are growing this economy very, very quickly. And the benefits are that you can do it from home. You can have more control over your time. There's increased mobility. It's very cost efficient because they don't have to buy a shop, but you have your own business. And when millennials join the workforce, they've seen previous generations not making money over time. Their retirements disappeared with the last recession and so on. So this is a way of building an independent income, starting with very little investment. And the growth of Uber from 60 million to 68 billion just in 5 years shows the amazing growth in this gig economy. And the internet is the other huge disruptive technology, and the growth of Amazon by a factor of 500% in 5 years shows the amazing impact of the internet, and nobody yet knows the total impact of that, where we're all shopping online and selling online and starting businesses online. So there really is a change, and Nikken's been around for over 40 years, but it is the ultimate gig. It's fitting perfectly into this economy, and the young people are recognizing this. The cost of entry is very low. It easily integrates into your life. You do it out of your house. It's a turnkey operation. It's been marketing this way for 40 years, so there's a great system that's already established, and leaders who want nothing more than having you duplicate their success. So it is the perfect gig. And what do us as Nikken entrepreneurs do? We leverage and compound the efforts of others. And each person is their own independent entrepreneur, but Nikken pays us a commission on everyone that we bring into the business. And so what we do then is we join Nikken, enjoy the products, have a story to tell, share and promote them, invite people to be customers or partners as consultants. And Nikken does all the heavy lifting. Everything that a corporation does, we are the marketing arm. And we independently promote Nikken. And then Nikken rewards us for anyone who joins or purchases as a customer, and there are amazing multitude of ways that they pay us. the core of the business is building certified wellness homes. And I discovered Nikken was perfect for me because I wanted to work from home. I wanted to reach more people. And I knew that their technologies were absolutely leading edge because I had studied nutrition and I knew a lot about the effects of electromagnetic pollution in studying natural health. And we actually, for 4 years, we lived in the mountains of Vermont, and we realized that living close to the earth gave us much more energy. And people who visited us said, why didn't they ever get tired? And they were helping us rebuild this old house. And it was because we did not have a concrete basement. There was nothing blocking the natural energies of the earth coming up through our house. So we really appreciated that. We also rewired the old house to minimize the wiring because our wiring is distorting our natural energy. Now today, we have Wi-Fi and appliances in every room of the house. We have cell phones on our bodies. So compared to 20 years ago when we were doing that in Vermont, the alien energy fields around us are way, way more disruptive than they were even 20 or especially 40 years ago. So I saw that Nikken was absolutely a machine, not only to keep us healthy, but that it would help other people. And it could be an amazing cash flow machine for an entrepreneurial gig business. So the products are purchased at whatever level the person's comfortable, and then we have consumables, and then we can upgrade to get a total wellness home, and then encourage our families and friends to do it, and then Nikken's always innovating with the products as well. So it really is a cash flow engine. And this is a model of how our purpose-driven model works with me or you at the center with your wellness home. You find at least 5 people who are interested in building their wellness through a Nikken wellness home, and they give you a steady income as you get your retail profits. And then you find 3 or more people who want to duplicate your entrepreneurial effort. And sometimes the customers become consultants when they see that these products are so effective. So your core circle of influence is the way you build your business. And each person works to develop at least 5 wellness homes with customers and teaches 3 new consultants to do the same thing. And then those 3 teach 3 more. So it's as simple as teaching 3 to reach 3 who each reach 3. And we do it through collaborative entrepreneurship, what we call an ABC. We have 3 people. The B is the new person, the A is the mentor or sponsor, and the C is the potential customer or consultant. And the trust between A and B and between B and C is transferred from A to C, and they really are able to understand the power of Nikken. Our support system's unique. I mentioned how everybody benefits for every new customer or consultant. We all help each other because it's not like a law firm where the top partner's worried about the people below them who are pushing to take more profits and move up in the structure. In Nikken, there's endless room at the top, and the people at the top would like nothing more than you to surpass them because they get a little piece of everything you do. And I love this picture. This is the apple. One apple seed can be responsible for hundreds and thousands, even millions of apples if it's nurtured and put in the right environment. And We have people in Nikken who have impacted hundreds of thousands of lives over the last 40 years, and it's just a truly amazing business. And this is what I call the cone of possibility. You're at the top of the cone, and you're helping your 3 reach their 5 customers and their 3 leaders, and it grows organically. And from the diagram, you're helping people as customers and consultants, and they're each helping their customers. So when you get your 9 consultants, they have 45 customers, and that gets you to the first leadership level where you're earning more than 500 a month, and it keeps growing as the organization grows. It's not going to grow perfectly like that, but because some people are going to be more active than others, but that is the way you grow. And we have people who have gotten up to 40,000 a month, even 100,000 a month. So it is endless. There's no glass ceiling. There's no limit to what Nikken can do for your life. And these are the many ways that Nikken compensates us. It's endless. They're just always looking out to help us build the life we want. Now we're going to move on to the active wellness, and I'm going to introduce Hattiejane, who's my co-host, and she will share, and I'll show you her beautiful face in a minute, but rather than leave the PowerPoint, I'm just going to move forward. So Hattiejane, can you unmute yourself, and we'll just proceed with the products?
Thank you.
Great, great. There, Isabel, thank you. So again, the compounding effect, and take it on, Hattiejane.
Thank you. Thank you, Randy. Again, the technology that Nikken has brought to us here in the States has been shared across many countries during its development from the first time in Japan, in which Mr. Masuda investigated how putting a application of magnetic field to his feet would help him feel more refreshed when he came in from a tremendously busy day. And so he could have more time for his family, which was extremely important. So we've broken it down to a picture of, okay, what is really bugging our lives, our existence? It's stress, the lack of consistent sleep so the body can repair, the air quality. When we talk about dust in the air, but we're also speaking of it in our homes, of how many of our products that we dearly love that seem so easy, but actually off-gas things that are counterproductive to consistent use. And then water. Now water quality, you've seen many companies come to the forth talking about improving water. We've seen many cities have, and many areas of the country have problem with water and the quality of the water they drink, which used to be, without doubt, thought to be the best in the world. But we found that we are human beings in this magnificent, complicated world, and our water systems have been indulged by things like birth control pills, by other chemicals, about waste runoff from different industries, and our water coming through our taps are also coming through aging pipes. Therefore, the quality that we drink is distinctly affected. And Nikken looked at this, and it looked at how can we improve and affect the health trends that we're seeing in the children that are so are changing to have so many problems at a young age, and also to be, well, they're just, the trends are so much so that they're thought that we're going to outlive them, and that is disaster. And because water is your most essential element. So therefore, using the technology that Nikken has brought to us, we here on this program choose to be healthy by choice, not by chance. and taking the best of what is possible and keeping mindful of what is out there and what their things are saying. We choose Nikken products to improve our home just because this is where we live, and how we sleep, and how we prepare our foods and drink our water, and how we breathe our air, and how we just take care of ourselves. So very holistic, what they now call holistic. We used to say common sense back in the day, because we live in a wellness home. And the products are so easy to integrate because Nikken has chosen to make those the most accessible. And at one of the best prices in town when you compare it to ones that are more highly industrialized and promoted. Thank you, Randy. And
So
thank you.
I
And I get
do.
a chance to show we have put those products together in a very affordable grouping pack. For example, I was talking about water. Well, there is the major system that goes on the countertop, and you can fill it up from your actual tap, any potable water, and it puts it through the system that is so clean, and it also can go with you if you transfer to another site, to another place, or you move. And it brings out the most absorbable, sweet tasting, cleanest water that has been shown repeatedly. And you have canisters, yes, those canisters to the side, you change. And that's what keeps it being properly filtered. But it goes then through the magnetic field, which is constant, and makes it extremely absorbable and useful for the body. And you can take the bottle you see on the far left with you and fill it from a tap when you're out. So you don't have to change what water you're drinking. You're staying hydrated with the best water in town. And then when you shower daily, you don't have to keep giving yourself gas from the chlorine. And it, besides taking the chlorine out, it also puts it through the marvelous filtration system, which doesn't replace the water for drinking, but it cleanses your skin, and your water absorbs the clean, clear, healthy water. And then we have another pack, don't we, Randy?
Yep.
And that's a neat, neat pack. Now, these are all little odds and ends, you might say, because it's got that little thing that looks like a checkerboard over there on to the left, and that's what we call a flex. And that's a grouping of magnets in the proper sequence, the proper way, with the newest technology. And hundreds and thousands of people have worn that on their back and won't give that up for anything, because it applies a magnetic field in a local area where you place it. I've used it on my chest because of breathing difficulties that I was born with, and allergens increased. And then we have the seat cushion, which is the black center, which you sit in the chair. So when you're at the office, you have your support also down the back of your legs and up by your shoulders. And then to the right and the left of it are those things that were started out by Mr. Masuda 43 years ago now. And it's been upgraded constantly because Nikken is a research and development thing. It is not just a marketing tool. And they have developed it so you slide those in your shoes and you wear them, and suddenly your knees feel a little better and you have much more consistent energy than you used to. And then we have the newest thing, the grounding pad, which looks like a pad underneath all that, and that is the newest application of what Nikken has found in the technology of working with our health, with our own systems. Everyone is an individual, so we're going to respond differently to different parts of this. We're going to find parts of our bodies that need it more than other people need it for theirs, and that's where the active wellness comes in, because we experience and choose the different products as we wish, and we find out what works best for our bodies, and therefore we can continue the ability of the body to actively grow and move and feel comfortable and heal and restore. And then in our next area, we have you might say, the other part of we go to bed. Every day, somewhere along the line, we finally get time to sleep. And without sleep, which actually is a form of torture, physical torture, the body cannot repair. The body cannot maintain without sleep. But the quality of sleep has a different variety in it that scientists have finally found, figured out, which the old ladies could have told you long ago, that it has to have a deep, basic sleep in order for those marvelous little enzymes and corrective and healing properties on our own bodies to be able to get out and work. And that's what the magnetic field and the ceramic field of that brings the solar influence into our health, even at night, and it's constant because it is coming from the sun, but because our planet is turned away from the sun, we perceive the darkness. But the solar influence is still there. And so as we sleep, the combination of the magnetic, which is like the Earth is responding to the Earth's magnetic field, and our own magnetic field, and the solar influence of the sun brings our body the chance to obtain the deep restorative sleep it needs. And so therefore, those were the magnetics were the first basic technology, and then came the ceramic fibers, which brought the solar. And then all that works together, and we have the negative ions popping up all over the place. Then we have another portion that we have is then we said, well, but how about the fuel? How about how they're eating? All different cultures have different types of eating, but there's certain basic human requirements that the body requires. It requires protein, it requires carbohydrates, it requires fats, but it requires a certain type of those things to really, really run smoothly. We're not engines, we're viable living organisms. And without the proper nutrition for the different systems, when they repair broken. But if we have the availability of the improved nutrition, they can repair even better and go forth. So that's part of our active wellness too, that we take that seriously. So that's how some of us have discovered it and continue to discover it and live it. So now I'm part of sharing this with you. This is part of our cooperative opportunity. Randy doesn't make any money off me. I don't make any money off her. So come join us, check us out. 40 years of experience, 40 years of people saying that our products are good. This is an opportunity, folks. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Hattiejane. Well done. We all could talk forever about this, but I want to introduce Betty Jenkins, who's our special guest today, to share her story. Betty, if you will say what you were doing before you discovered Nikken and how you were feeling, and if that changed, and what Nikken means to you now.
Well, thank you, Randy. Thank you for inviting me. I was in the field of accounting before Nikken came along, and I wasn't looking for anything because I felt good and I had no challenges. But my husband had a lot of challenges, and he happened to have a friend who introduced him to Nikken, and so he bought the products. And at that time, he bought the kits that we had, and so I started sleeping on some of them. And after a week or so, I thought, I'm more alert when I get up to go to work. I'm not groggy walking around here in the morning. And so I started investigating magnets, because to me, before that, magnets were just something you stuck on the fridge to hold pictures on. And started investigating and found out more and tried more of the products. And through the years, I just felt better, and I still feel just like I did 21 years ago when I was first introduced. And I found that I'm 85 now. I take no kinds of prescription meds or anything. And anytime there's a hurt or something, I just go through my magnets or look at the nutrition and take care of it myself. And that's pretty much my story, because I've had a lot of people use them over the years, and but for me, I wouldn't be without that sleep system. That is so restorative that at night when you go to bed and you're tired, the next morning you know you're going to be feeling good and all refreshed.
Thanks. Yeah, that's the way I was. I didn't have any complaints, and yet I felt better. More energy. Didn't get tired at the end of the day, but was ready to sleep. But the stress is gone. It's awesome. Can you tell a little more about your husband's experience? Because you said he did have some challenges he was looking to.
Yeah, he had some challenges, and since he left about 15 years ago, I don't know how he's doing now. I know he still had a sleep pad he was sleeping on, but the magnetic energy seemed to relieve his hurts and his discomforts on there. So, but I couldn't tell you how he's doing now.
But you did see changes back then.
Yes.
And you say you have a number of people that you have introduced to Nikken. Do you have what's been the most fascinating experience you've had with someone that you've been able to help?
Well, the insole, going back to the beginning, the insoles seem to help more people than anything. And I'm just thinking back to about a week ago, I had a booth in a craft show, and a lady was complaining about her knees, and I forget about the touch. I mean, it lays there, but I use it once in a while, but when I'm at a show, sometimes I forget it. And anyway, she started off, and I looked over and saw it, and I thought, so I ran and got her. I said, "You have about 10 minutes?" And she said, "Oh, yes." And so she sat down, and the doctors had put braces on her knee, but they didn't know what was causing her knee to hurt, to swell. But she took it off, and we used the touch for about 10 minutes, and she got up and she went on, and she come back a little bit later, and she says she'd walked all around this craft show, up the stairs and down the stairs, and she says, "My knee didn't hurt." So her daughters were with her, and they were going to planning to go together and get her one for Christmas.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, that's the way it goes. We can talk endlessly and watch videos, but the trick is to just try the products and have someone caring like you that just demonstrates them. And the Kinko Touch does the alternating magnetic impulses that a lot of universities are now testing them as a medical therapy, but Nikken is always ahead of the curve because they develop these products for immediate customer use where you don't need an expert. They aren't designed as therapy. Don't make any claims for fixing anything. It's just to support the body's own ability to recover every day from stresses and hurts and aches and soreness that we can get, especially as we age. And it's wonderful to hear the many healthy years you've had, Betty. I really appreciate you sharing your age because it's very impressive. If someone's kind of exploring Nikken for the first time, what would you tell them? Besides, you like to start with the insoles. What's your recommendation?
Well, of course, for me, the sleep system is what did it. At that time, they didn't have the water. Now you'd have to fight me for the water and the sleep system. But so I would say, if you can at all, is to start with that. If you can do it, start with that sleep system, because that's getting the whole body, and that's giving you the whole benefit of it, I think.
Great. That's thanks. Well, I thank you so much. We'll keep sharing it. It's a wonderful thing, and I'm going to go back to our slides for a moment just to make a call to action. So if you're watching this, please go back with the person, the sponsor, the person who introduced Nikken to you, and begin your own new success story of active wellness, living a life in balance, and joining us not only in using the products, but in sharing them and joining us as an entrepreneur, if you wish. And there we have many shows like this all week. There's one tonight. There's one almost every morning, Saturday mornings, and many evenings as well. So please explore Nikken, because I think it's the biggest discovery you can make in your health and in an opportunity to increase your income with no limit. So thanks, and have a great week.